Hello everyone, welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot and Astrology. But today I won't be doing any astrology. This is Trump's reading for the week of September 25th through the 1st of October. So the last week of the month. But so I'm going to look at his actions, his plans, the karma hanging over him, and of course his future. So bear with me while I bring the camera down overhead, or actually I'll just be right back because I'm going to close this one up and start that one. So be right back. Hold on. Okay, so just before we get started on the tarot reading, I wanted to show you some things that I discovered. So this is Trump's rectified birth time, 10:12 a.m. rather than the 10:54 p.m. or a.m. that we've been using. It gives him a 21 degrees ascendant in Leo rather than the 29. So I just wanted to show you that. And I've already done a whole reading around that with his transits, so I won't reiterate. But when Letitia James made her announcement on Wednesday, you can see right here, it's about 11 a.m. is when it happened. So the moon was conjunct his Pluto. Now, no matter what, even house placement, the moon would have been at 9 degrees Leo, conjuncting his Pluto at 10. So this announcement doesn't prove, anything about the rectification. But I saw that and I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen when the moon hits his ascendant, because the ascendant magnetizes. The moon is the public. And so I thought, wonder what the public will be revealing when it hits his ascendant. What will he be magnetizing? And then, lo and behold, I'm doing, the next day, because I do weekly astrology readings for everyone. I'm doing that, I do them on Thursdays. And so in the morning, I'm like, oh, look at this. We have a grand square for the, starting off 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. And I noticed that in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I wonder if this is going to affect Trump with his 21 degree ascendant, because the moon is contributing immensely to the public illumination from something from the public about 9 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. Okay. And then on Thursday afternoon, so here's what happened. The moon was about here in the morning, and then by 3:45 p.m. when Judge Deary announced that Trump had to pay for his own special master, or he had to be the one to pay for the special master to look through everything. And not only that, the DOJ, and I think that was announced even before, but the major announcement that happened 3:45 p.m. Eastern on Thursday was that the DOJ could keep on keeping on with their criminal investigation of the documents, the 100 documents or so that matter, or any of them that matter. And Deary was one of Trump's, he chose him, so that was kind of a for Trump. But anyway, and then Deary gave Trump's lawyers until September 30th to reveal which documents are part of that inventory of material that came from Mar-a-Lago that may have been logged incorrectly or whatever. So anyhow, I'm vaguely going off of what's her name? Heather Cox Richardson's newsletter. I vaguely remember her describing it that way. So anyhow, the important thing to know is that 3:45 p.m., building up to this time when the announcement came out, it was somewhere around there. I don't know exactly the exact time, but the moon moves pretty quickly. So the whole day on Thursday, Judge Deary was deliberating whatever he was going to say, how he was probably writing up his, you know, I don't know what you call that legally, when someone basically is writing up the way things are going to be, his decision, his decree, I guess. That was all happening while the moon and transits that are coming around are stronger as they're approaching, and then bam, they're suddenly there. So I'm thinking that he's, you know, right about in here when the moon was being, when the moon was getting ready to cross over his ascendant here. This was all brewing and happening, and then 3:45 p.m. hits, and it's like it's announced to the public. But you can imagine that hours before, the moon was right here, and hours before this, of course, he would have been working on it. So this is proof, right here, this is proof that this 10:12 a.m. birth time is correct, and that Alfie Lavoie, his rectification program, which is called AIR software, works. I haven't purchased it because it's very expensive, but I follow him on Facebook, and I trust his work. I've been following him for quite some time. But I didn't surrender to the, you know, to the 10:12 a.m. because, you know, I figured, well, it's on his birth certificate. And I had to just stop and think, well, wait a minute. The guy's a damn mob boss, right? He's nothing but a mob boss. So why wouldn't he have falsified documents for his birth certificate? Of course he would. I'm going to use Pam's Recolored Tarot for this reading for the week. Hold on, I need to allow for reversals. Let me set the intention first. So, September 25th, X45's week, September 25th to October 1st. Looking at his, I'm going to do his forces in motion, his plans and actions, his karma, and his future. As many cards as I can fit in there. There we go. I'm going to use my friend Jean's technique when it comes to allowing for reversals. Because the other ways can make you guys dangerous. I just like to do a finger painting thing, and it messes up the cards, and I don't know. And I don't work as well with like stacks. I never have. Or dealing off the top. It doesn't work for me. Okay. He's loopy, man. Oh, I can feel he's just, it's like, feels like his eyes are darting all over the place, like he's a friggin' lizard. And then he's just loopy. He's probably on drugs. You know, some kind of psycho, whatever. Who knows what he's on. Okay, so anyway. What is his week? What will he be experiencing this week? And I also want to know his plans, actions, all of that. So at the base of the reading here, we're going to go with the forces in motion, his greatest challenges. And now over here, his plans and actions. So I'll do 2 cards for that. Okay. 2 cards up here for the karma hanging over him, of which he cannot get out from under. Okay. And then we'll do 4 cards here for his future. What will he be experiencing this week? Okay, so it's not that bad of a week for him. Let's take the 2 off the bottom. Ooh, I've got the devil and this isn't good. Oops, I'm so sorry. That had to have been really loud. The cards hit against my, I've got a shelf over here. I have shelves on both sides full of cards. And they're like this acrylic plastic. So sorry, that hit right there. I didn't mean to make that big old noise. Okay, let's get these framed up. There's the two off the bottom. That doesn't look pretty, does it? Let's kind of keep these separated. This is the future. These two cards here are karmically connected to all of them. I mean, when it comes to like looking at a person's karma. And then I may or may not use the Kipper to look at legal issues, but I mean, we know what's mounting against him. I mean, I've posted so many things on my community section. I'm afraid I'm going to drive you guys nuts if I post anymore. And it's out in the news now, you know, that Washington Post organized all of his lawsuits. So those are there. Okay. To have the Knight of Cups reversed for the forces in motion over the whole week is awful. This card brings in, well, disappointment. It brings in bad news because all the knights, they bring in some type of movement. Now, when they're reversed, it's going to be bad news. Well, bad news that's going to be breaking, you know, like his heart. If he can feel, I think he's pretty numbed out, honestly. So I don't think he's you know, feeling. He's just going to knock himself out however he can. So this is bad news. This is also a card of cheaters. So the forces in motion in his life is he's cheating, he's deceiving. People are going to be disappointed in him, and he will be disappointing others. And to have the Ace of Cups in the challenge position, you read it as a reversal. And the Ace of Cups reversed is, well, in the context of this, I feel like this is some type of, maybe his plans will be canceled. It's a card of, when it's reversed, of emotional pain and feeling very empty. And it can also be bad news. It can also be a breakup of relationships. So there's that possibility there. Having these two cards at the bottom tell me, and especially having this card here is the forces in motion and the deception. This is all about him always be grifting, right? With the devil. So he's addicted, he's blind, he's tied up, he's entangled. This is my card, or our card, for cheaters and abusers. And with the Page of Swords, you know, reversed or straight up, I tend to look at this card in political readings. The Page of Swords to me has to do with spying and getting clear. You know, get like something comes out and is revealed, because the pages often bring news. So with this combination here, I feel like there's some unexpected news about his cheating that's going to come out. That was, you know, at the bottom of the deck, so that contributes to the base of the reading. So these four cards go together here. Okay, but then for the rest of the week, his plans and actions, again, always be grifting. It's all about the money. He thinks he's got the big stick. He's just going to he will always be going for the money. That's his MO, because he thinks that the more money he has, the more power he has. His self-identity is tied to money. But the karma that's hanging over him is, well, Merrick Garland is a Scorpio, but this is all lawmakers, all attorneys. This card rules justice and the legal system. This card has to do with the truth coming out and some powerful lawmakers, judges, attorneys, whatever, coming out with something. And with the Eight of Pentacles reversed, the karma that's hanging over him is his sloppiness, his dead-end career, the fact that he's not inspiring very many people anymore, you know, and the ones that he is, you have to look at the fact that the ones who are supporting him are all QAnon followers. And he was shying away from them, you know, at least a little bit in the past, but not anymore. He doesn't care. Hopefully this means that in the future, I don't know. You know, I honestly don't know. I look at this and say, oh, I hope he's making, you know, license plates someday. But, you know, that's just my ego talking, my bias. Because realistically, he probably would, I don't know that he would wind up in Club Fed, you know, if he does get arrested. But I've always gotten before that his mind would just, you know, kind of take, his mind and his health would take him out, which would further be reiterated. Here, let's look at this real quick again. So in the old chart, Saturn was back in here and Pluto was still in his fifth. With this chart, because this chart changes the four hot points, okay, which are extremely, you know, they manifest. Like, what's going to happen when the moon conjuncts with his south, or with the transiting south node, right? And this is because this 13 degrees point here is his IC, which is like the past. This is a very, very karmic point. And his midheaven is now 13 degrees Taurus. So it changed everything except for, well, the aspects. It didn't change the aspects between his planets, but the manifestation of transits it changes, which is timing. So now Pluto's in his sixth house of health. It's not in his fifth, it's in his sixth. It's been in his sixth for a while, and we've watched his health just fall apart over the last, you know, several months or year, right? I mean, remember when he got COVID? That's not indicative of Pluto in the fifth, but definitely Pluto in the sixth. Saturn has been in the sixth, which is also, so for the last 2 years, he'll die with Pluto in his sixth, because it takes 125 years to even have a Pluto opposition. So he's not going to get away without a terrible health condition. And big changes in his daily details in life. Now with Saturn transiting through the sixth for the last 2 years, 2.5, it's now moving to his descendant. This is the relationship hot point. It's Saturn's at 19. It actually was very, very close to the descendant, and now it's retrograding back. But I think it's by October 23rd, Saturn will go direct, and then as it inches forward, you know, later on in November, December, in there, it's going to hit this 21 degrees Aquarius descendant. And remember, the square to the nodes that we've all been going through has been on his descendant. Now, the descendant is the relationship. It's others. We look to the 12th house as hidden enemies. This is 7th house is open enemies. So things are going to be very limiting and challenging for him. It doesn't mean that he won't still have some cemented, you know, relationships, but they're like QAnon supporters and crazy attorneys who are going to go down with him. So there, the astrology is backing up the tarot here. And the karma hanging over him, this is the mediocre work of the attorneys that he's been with in the past. And real attorneys are going to show what the law really is. You know, judges who, doesn't matter if he appointed them, you know, because they packed the courts. Between he and Mitch McConnell, about 200 judges were pushed through in the lower courts. But they're turning against him. So there's that. So for the rest of the week, till October 1st. This looks to me like he's going to be doing his best to get, to bring some money in, you know, to create something new. And this, we could say that this is the Mar-a-Lago card. These two together are like, I want to stay home with mommy kind of energy. And then the the Knight of Pentacles here is just trying to move forward and grab some more money, but something's going to be revealed about something that he has done. And this could be, I don't know who, well, Melania is a Taurus, and this card, Venus does rule Taurus and Libra, so it's possible that he's working to try and get Melania, you know, to come around. But these cards aren't that bad for this week. But he certainly had a terrible, terrible start. Very, very rough start. So let's go ahead and look at the, let's use, I will use the Kipper. Let's use a Kipper. Look at his legal issues here. Okay, so I'm using this deck, Cero Marchetti's. And let me make some room here. Let me see how many cards can I even fit. Yeah, actually, okay. I don't want this reading to be too long though, but let's just look at his, let's look at his legal, let's just look at his week. Legal cards will come through. If they do, I'll know. And I think I won't do 7, I'll just do 5, I'll just do 15 cards. Trump's week. X45's week, September 15th, or 25th, September 25th through October 1st. Okay. This should go faster than the tarot and astrology. What was that? 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 14. Oops, and 15. Okay. Ooh. Who is she? Or what's that about? What's that deception all about? Oh, yeah. Wow. Of course, as usual. Uh-oh. There's trouble there. False person, to have false person and thief in one reading. It's quite telling. Okay, that works. Sorry if you can't see the numbers well. You can see the names on the cards, though. Oh, actually, I think I might have more room. I must have my camera a little tilted. Yeah, that's what's going on. I have more room on this one side. Okay. Now that's interesting to have the community card. Oh, that's right, you guys. I forgot about that. We're going to have a J6 committee hearing by the end of the month. Ah, I get this card with him every time. Lately, I have been getting the imprisonment card. What was on the bottom? Yeah. Ooh, okay, I'll talk about that in a moment. Or a minute or two, or minutes. I shouldn't lie, should I? Okay, with the center here, with the theme, there are changes in his ability to grift, simply. Changes in his partnership. changes in donations, grifting, successful loyal bonds, changes because of the changes are created, because I read directionally, the changes are coming from, this should be adjudication. I don't know why they named that card this way, but anyway, maybe that was in the old days, because this is like a turn of the century deck. You can see, right? Looks very industrialistic, Victorian days. Anywho, squirrel. It was a squirrel moment. The change is coming from him being closely examined. So here we have the J6 committee here. This would be all investigations going on. And because of his stealing and his lack of responsibility for the violent attack on the Capitol, and changes to, the teamwork that he used to have going for him. And so all of these cards are weighing down, and the reason for the despair, this is just like the Nine of Swords in the tarot, except for much worse, because it doesn't go away. It's not like just a bad nightmare, but it would be more like the meaning with the Nine of Swords. Sometimes we say it's the dark night of the soul. This is definitely what's going on with him, and that's been the soul journey he's been on, because of all of his deception and grifting, because of his dishonesty, because he's always cheated and tried to just deflect, deny, attack, because he's been an enemy of the state, an enemy of the safety and security of the United States. The documents are coming out. There's going to be some communications coming out this week that will show more of his deception, and maybe other people who's been on that train with him. But like Jeff Bailey told me once, the trains left that station. That's for damn sure. And the security that comes, rewind. The security that we have is now dependent. It's weighing down on the January 6th committee, the DOJ, and so we're going to see, by this week, I think we're going to see something, because I did put it into that finite terms of, usually I go, okay, I don't care if it's a little later, because I'm tracking patterns basically, right? This time I remember I had it clearly in my mind. I just wanted to see this week. So this is the J6 committee, who will be very, very successful in bringing out all the truth. Yeah, I didn't set the intention, but now I can see this is a little, not a little, it is past, present, and future. So the deception of the past has been his soul journey, his whole, he's a born psychopath. The communications are going to be coming out. His ability to grift is coming into a finite place. Changes are being made, or changes are affecting him. And I think he's going to be really distracted this week as to who can he trust and where does he go to try and make money. Because if I look at these cards together here, we have, this can be the IRS examining that creates changes to the way he's been able to grift. And this can be IRS here. This can be asset seizure, a decree that comes down. I don't know that we'll get it this week. This could be way off in the future. Although I don't have timing cards here. At the bottom of the deck, we have him obsessively worrying about everything that has to do with his feeling secure, with his, this is a card of like your inner landscape, your soul. And this is like right now. This is a card. I have two of the timing cards that are in there's three in the deck. I have two of them here. So he's obsessing. He's having major psychological problems. He's depressed. He can't stop thinking about it, right? And it is all about his money, right? Look, I mean, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we have 3 of the 4 money cards here. And his successful bonds here. These 2 cards are knighting down here well, he's going to be meeting, trying to make the changes. He's going to be having meetings and trying to negotiate and make changes. You know, it's like the picture we saw of him on the golf course, on the golf course. His DC, Virginia golf course. And I honestly think a lot of you guys thought it was Devin Nunes or some other guy. I think it was Dan Scavino who was in the front with the red sweater on. Anyway, the only other guy I could recognize was Eric. The guy to the left was definitely not Mark Meadows. I could tell by his profile on the side that was not Mark Meadows. I don't know who those guys are, but anyway, this card is, that picture that we saw that's the meaning of this card. Meetings, teamwork, what do we do now? We're bonded, what's the plan? And trying to negotiate something. So he was trying to negotiate successful bonds, and I got clearly he was looking for money. That's what that meeting was all about. So he's continuing on having, this week, continuing on having those types of meetings to get more money in. Which, we could probably just take for granted that happens every week. But he's obsessively worrying about money. He can't think about anything other than that in himself because, he's the born psychopath. Those 2 cards are saying that. And this is my other timing card that says in about 3 months or 4 the next few months, he has absolutely no control over his reality. He just has to sit and wait. And, he's being surveilled. He's being watched. He can expect something to come through, but he's not really able to control, what it's going to be. Yeah. I just heard 5 months, 3 to 5 months. Okay, good to know. All right, well, that's it, you guys. Hope you're doing well. Take good care. Bye.